you want to compare RG3 and Cam Newton played in the SEC. I mean, every team there is like a pro team. You know, there's a lot of guys that come off those teams, Tennessee, Alabama, LSU, you know, where LSU, Alabama, they have a game and it's 6-3, you know, after 3 quarters. That's just hardcore defense, you know, and Cam Newton was ready, kind of ready for the speed and for the hardcore defenses in the NFL by playing in that conference. Now, Baylor, you know, 56-64, 63-77. I mean, these are like super scores, but it's not because the offense is that great. It's because the defenses are terrible. So that's what he's used to. So now he has to get used to the speed of the NFL. And I think that's going to take him a couple of years. He's going to throw some picks. He's going to run probably when he shouldn't run. He's going to throw probably when he shouldn't throw. And then he's got a coach in Shanahan who you never know what he's going to do. One minute you're there, next minute he's trying this and he's trying that. So personally, I would stay away from Hightower. I would stay away. Maybe Halou with a mid-rounder. You know, maybe if they eat up all the running backs early, because right now in the draft rooms they're definitely at a premium. If they eat him up, grab him. I say 7th round, 6th, 7th round, somewhere in that area between 5 and 7. But definitely put him as a flex, no higher than a flex. That's all he is, because it's just too unpredictable in Washington. Personally, my advice is to stay away from all Washington players this year. Peyton Hillis. Now, people are staying away from Hillis in the draft rooms. I'm noticing that. Of course, it's obvious. Last year, he kind of became a head case and the whole thing where he didn't want to play and he said a few things here and there. But, you know, I like Peyton Hillis. I love this kid's talent. I mean, I don't know what happened in Cleveland, and personally I don't care, because the good stories and good fantasy players coming out of Cleveland, name me one. Name me one in the 2000s that came out of Cleveland that was actually a great producer on a regular, consistent basis. It's just not there. Now, he's in Kansas City, and his upswing is he has a new coach in Romeo Crennel. I love Romeo. I think he's one of the best coaches out there. I'm really glad that they gave him a chance to play. I mean, give him props. Last year, he got his first start as the coach after they fired the other guy, who I understand he was a dick. From what I understand, the coach that was there before him. It's not even worth remembering. But he came in and he beat an undefeated Green Bay team with his Kansas City Chiefs. So give him props on that. Now, also, as far as Peyton Hillis goes, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He definitely has a lot to prove. He wants that big money contract. And the only way he's going to get it is to show and prove and put up mega numbers, which is definitely good news for fantasy players. He's been going like about round 8, round 9, round 7, depending on who you're drafting with. Depending how much they feel about him, how badly they feel about him, or, you know, how good they feel about him. But if you can get him with a late round flyer, if you can get him in the middle to late rounds, I would say between 6 and 8 or 6 and 9 as a flex, or maybe as your first backup running back on your bench, definitely take him. Definitely take him. They're going to use him in the backfield. They're going to use him as a receiver. And he has some of the best hands I have ever seen on a running back. I mean, I've heard Shanahan say this when he was in Denver. Shanahan said he has the best hands on the team. And that was when Brandon Marshall was there. So that says a lot. I mean, this guy is no joke. He is one heck of a talent. And I believe this year he will definitely put up some numbers and help out fantasy players. But just to be safe, don't take him as your 1 or 2. Flex only. Number 1 backup only. Okay. And also, before I forget, Jamal Charles is an injury risk. And he's going to have all the goal line carries also. So that helps. Now, how often they'll get in the red zone, I don't know with Matt Castle. You know, personally, I'm hoping they trade Castle, get a new quarterback before the season starts, somebody a little more experienced that can move the ball and get him in striking distance so he can put up those touchdowns to help out the fantasy players. Okay? So, that is our show for today. And I just want to answer a couple of more questions. Hold on 1 second. Ah, yeah, Mr. Adrian Peterson. Now, I want to finish the show off with this. Adrian Peterson, if everybody's seen the video today as far as him running and doing small cuts, and that's all well and good. I mean, it's impressive physically, but the real test is the beating. You know, it's the tackles, it's when 10 guys are on top of you, it's when you're going full speed and you get hit full speed. That's the real test. When you're going full speed and you make that quick, deep cut, that's the real test on that knee. So don't get too excited, but don't pass up on him either. If you see him there in the 4th round or the 5th round, where I've been seeing him in the 5th and 6th round, take him. Take him, put him on the bench, and grab Toby Gerhart about 3 or 4 rounds later. You know, if any, you know, because Toby put up some pretty good numbers last year. He was not bad in replacement. You know, out of 6 games, he put up 5 double-digit fantasy points. So you got to give him props for that. He's a great receiver. He's not an Adrian Peterson, of course, but he is a great receiver out of the backfield. So don't pass up on him. He's a great value. I'm sure nobody's doing a real draft these days right now, but as time goes on, as we get closer and closer to camp and August comes in, he's either going to go up or he's going to go down. Personally, I think he's kind of going to stay the same because people are going to be leery about taking him. But when it comes to Adrian Peterson, you have to treat him the same way you're going to treat Matt Forte. Draft him. Don't pass up on him. Just make sure you grab Bush and make sure you grab, not Reggie Bush, but make sure you grab Michael Bush to back up Forte, and make sure you grab Toby Gerhart to back up Adrian Peterson. But do not pass up on them because they're just too good. And if they do play, and if they do play well, you're going to be kicking yourself in the butt. Okay, Fantasy Nation. So this is Philip C. from the NYC saying, remember, fantasy is real.